Sketch together. Hey, hello guys. On this session, I'm going to teach you really quickly how to create a really nice trick that I learned today. And we're going to learn how to create a loading animation when you scroll down on an app. Something like this. So I created this and I realized that it's a really easy thing to do on Flinto. So we're going to need 4 screens and it's going to be super easy. So let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to start from scratch, but we're going to design something like this on Sketch. So if you are already familiar with Sketch and you only want to see how to do this with Flinto, skip this part because we're going to do all of this from scratch. So as you can see, we're going to have a header, we're going to have our icon, background, content, and a button. That's all we're gonna need. So let's go ahead and start from scratch. So the first thing that I will do is I downloaded the iOS core components from Facebook for on Sketch, and I'm going to copy this thing, the navbar. So I'm going to copy one of their navbars. Oops, it's a little bit. There you go. I'm going to copy that one, and I'm going to create a new document, and I'm going to create an artboard of an iPhone 6, and I'm gonna paste this over here, this little guy, and actually I'm going to make it dark, so I need a different status bar. So I'm going to delete this status bar. I'm going to turn this to a different color. I'm going to remove this label. I'm going to turn these labels to white and this one to white too. And then I'm going from the Facebook iOS components, I'm going to copy this other navbar, the status bar, sorry, the light one. So over here, I pasted it, put it in the middle and all the way to the top. And now we have our header or navbar navigation. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's change this to Jesus. And this one is options. And this one is just a back button. Let's keep it there. And obviously this is, instead of Facebook, is ST for Sketch Together. There you go. Okay, cool. The first thing that I want to create is one article. So let's go ahead and see how it is, the design. So it is just a circle, title, and a subtitle. And let's go ahead and do that really quickly. I create a circle, an oval, include it, and I'm going to put it 96 pixels from there, and then I'm going to be 32 pixels from the left, and probably 20 pixels from the top margin, from the top padding. So then title, so it should be dark. There you go, and I'm going to use 34 for the title, and I'm going to use SF UI display for it. I'm going to make it bold. And for the subtitle, I'm going to use SF UI text, and I'm going to make it 28. This is subtitle. Subtitle, I'm going to change the color to a lighter color, and instead of bold, I'm going to make it regular. There you go. And I'm going to, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we have 0 padding between them. To group these two, center them. That's about right. And probably padding here should be 22. And there you go. And now let's add a divider. Really quickly, a rectangle that goes all the way to the right, but starts on the same left align to this, and it's going to be 2 pixels height. That color is okay, I think. Let's make it sorry. Let's move it a little bit. 20 pixels separation from that, and there you go. We have our first article on our feed that we're creating that is called Jesus, apparently. It's really weird. So we have this, and now we are going to duplicate it. So really quickly, 20 pixels, and now duplicated one. So I can start pressing Command D, and it will duplicate all of the rest of the elements super quickly. Boom, 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 all the way to the bottom. And now that we have that, I'm going to actually select all of these circles, pressing Command Shift, and then I'm going to use crafts from Envision, their plugin to create to insert images. So I go to the photos. I'm going from Unsplash. You can select any of these categories. I'm going to select hipster, and Let's wait a little bit for the magic to happen, and there you go. Now we have images, hipster images all over the place. This one is a little bit, it's repeated, so I'm going to change this one too because it's repeated. There you go. We have our hipster images. Now let's change the titles of this to make it more real. Let's go ahead and select Command Shift, all of these. And then instead of photos, we're going to go to type. And then over here, we're going to press headlines, and I'm going to do technology. There you go. And that's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah, I forgot to actually change the... Oh, damn it. Yeah. Okay, what do you want to do? Hopefully you don't make this mistake as me. You want to, first of all, well, not just that. Let's also select this. All these need to be the same width. So let's change the width of all of these to be 360, I think. No. Let's put it 580. It's going to be padding 22. No. There you go, 570. And now I have 32 padding. There you go. And now all of these I'm going to go to type, headlines, and again, technology. There you go. Created a mess, as you can see. Let's do it again. Headlines, advertising. Probably these ones will be a little bit shorter. Beauty. Oh, this one looks better. Okay. So here I'm going to, what are the ones that are too long? Just delete the parts that are too long. I'm going to do the same over here, just so it's a little bit cleaner. There you go. Probably here too. All this. Goodbye. And this one. Sometimes you use these tools to make your life easier, and sometimes you actually make it a little bit harder. But no, that was actually super quick. Okay, cool. So we have all of our content. Now what we want to do is add a background to this content. And I'm going to go ahead and make a rectangle just around here and around all the way here. Let's actually see. Let's put this rectangle all the way to the back. And let's change the color to white. And you're going to see why later. The thing is that your content needs a background too. So I'm going to create a background, a huge background. Probably each article could have had its own background, but we can just create a big rectangle for this practice. Okay, so we have it. Now we select all of it and we group it, and then we can change the name of it. Let's change the name to content. And I can go ahead and go back to, change this back to 1334. There you go, so that's the content. And now I'm going to add a big button here on the bottom, a floating button. It's going to have a height of 114 and probably all the corner radius as far as it can go. Then I'm going to add a nice color, probably blue. There you go, whatever you want. This is just for practice. So this is just so you know what I do, how I do it. Then I'm going to add a CTA, copy, let's cheese it. There you go, we're even creating our own lingo in our app. There you go, cool. And let's change it to bold. And instead of UI, it's display. We align it to the center. Let's make it a little bit closer, like that. And let's add a shadow so it looks floating. And instead of a blur of 4, let's do blur of 20, probably 30. Play around with this. And then change the opacity to 20. There you go. And now we group it and we call it CTA or a button. There you go. And now we need to create our loading icon. So I'm going to actually move this, the content, probably says 110. Let's do 120. I don't know what is the standard size of this loading, but let's say that's 120. If you actually know the what is the pattern to do that, let me know. That would be great. And I'm going to change the color of the background. This is why we added the white background. You're going to see why. Because if we add a color to the background, let's add the same color as this, but let's make it a little bit lighter as the header nav, around there. That's where our loading icon is going to appear. So that's why we added this white background to the content. So we can see this thing that is kind of like behind the content, what is going to appear, the loading icon. Okay, so we have that. And now let's actually create our icon. Let's have fun. I'm going to create a robot, a dumb robot. No, a very smart robot. What am I saying? Okay, let's create a rectangle around there. And let's add a corner radius. Let's change the color to white. Let's align it to the center of the image. Let's put it around there. Yeah, it looks good. And then I'm going to double click and I'm going to select these two corners. And that way I'm going to change the corner radius of this. That way these two corners are super rounded, but the bottoms are not. And now it looks like a shape of a very futuristic or more like retro robot. There you go. Now let's add some eyes. Let's have this color, corner radius around there. Zoom in so we can see it nice and big. There you go. Now I'm going to duplicate this and I'm going to actually create a smile. I'm going to select these two and remove the corner radius. And now I'm going to transform it, and now we have our happy smile. And probably these could be 8 pixels wide. There you go. Obviously this is not perfect. Oh, I'm sure you will do something way better than what I'm doing. There you go, something like that. And let's add like some cool ears here behind it. And let's change the color to this color too. Set a corner radius around there. Just put it behind the face. Backwards. There you go. It's a little bit too big. So move it around. Again, this is you can skip all of this. This is probably not what you clicked on my video. Probably you just wanted to see the Flinto part. So go ahead and do that. Skip this if you don't want to see me drawing silly robots. Okay, so, but if you do want to see silly robots, then you're in the right place. Okay, so round to pixel. I'm going to change the height. Oops, sorry. This thing is, let's make it a little bit taller. And there you go, around there. Let's change the width of this. Let's align it to the center. I think I'm liking this robot. That's good enough. There you go. Okay, I group it and I'm going to call it robot. And the robot is actually going to be behind everything. So move it in your layers list behind, well, it has to be inside the layer. So there you go. Sorry, inside the artboard. So there you go. It's inside the artboard. This is behind. All of this has a name. So we're ready to put this in Flinto. So let's go ahead and I'm actually going to screen. There you go. So, so now what I'm going to do is export this to Flinto. So let me open this Flinto, and Flinto doesn't have anything. Okay, I'm good. So I'm going to send this to Flinto. I use a plugin from Flinto, and I'm going to. I only have one artboard, so it's okay. What can we do? Yeah, we're good. Export only selected artboard. One thing that you could do is you could probably actually let's actually do it. Screen. Let's have both instances of the loading. So loading. So this one is loading, and this one is not loading. Okay, and the one that is not loading is going to have this guy. Is going to actually be. Let's scale it down to 40%. Around there. Let's change the opacity to not to 50. There you go. And actually, it's going to be behind the content. I know, so this sounds crazy, but it will make sense once we put it in the animation. The thing is, in Flinto, you actually want to have all the strings of all the instances, even if we're going to move from here to here. So once we do it, it's going to be really easy. You're going to understand. So I think we have this. Let's is this a line? Yeah, it is a line. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go and send to Flinto. Yes, everything is okay. And automatically create a new file here in Flinto. And as you can see, I have the two screens. The first thing you'll notice is that there's no background. So I can change the color of the background here on the document settings. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to select the color. That's something that it doesn't export the plugin. So copy the background color, change the background color over here. And what am I doing? What's going on? Okay, sorry. How do I do this? Damn it, I feel like an idiot. Oh, I have it here. No. Where is this? Oh, God. Oh, there you go, website colors. And now I can, wow. This is the worst. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh my God. I'm very sorry if that happens to you. Now you know. You have to go here and then select RGB sliders, and then the hex color will be down there. Okay, well, that was fun. Okay, so now we have our starting point, and then what happens when you slide, when you drag. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a scroll to the content, a vertical scroll. And then I'm going to make this, I think it is good. Let's test it actually. Oops, first of all, I have to make this the home screen. So I'm going to right click here and set as home screen. That way we start here or preview. So there you go. It's not doing anything, but now it's this thing is doing what we want, which is the vertical scroll. Okay, we got that. And now we're going to actually add an animation from here to here. So we add a gesture first, and we're going to say down swipe. And then we're going to, the target is going to be the loading animation, the loading screen, sorry. And the transition is going to be a new transition. And here's where the fun begins. So as you can see here, by default, it creates this animation coming from the right. But we don't want that. We actually want it to be right there. When something that is happening in the same screen, you want to put those same screens in the same center, because here these guides tell you what you're actually seeing on the device. So keep that in mind. So in here it tells you from start to end. So it starts here and then it ends here, and there's nothing happening right now because, well, we haven't done anything. So what we want to do, the first thing is we want to connect layers, because we want to say that this content and this other content are connected. So you select them here and then you click here. And that way we know that those two layers are connected. The same thing goes for the robot. So we select those two robots and then we say they're connected. And now we see that something happens. Everything remains the same, but those two, since those two are connected, once the start and the end are different, because on our over here our states are different. So let's go ahead and see it again. You edit transition, and now it creates this really nice transition between the element, the robot that is smaller and with a different transparency to this. And the same goes to the scrolling content, because the dragging content, because in one screen is over here and then the other screen is like this. Okay, cool. So something that I want to add is that to this I'm going to actually change the spring of this. I'm going to do classic. No, I'm going to actually do spring. And I'm going to move the friction so it has a little bit of bounciness. So let's see how that. Pow. A little bit more. Let's see. It's probably not as good. I like it. I like it like that. Let's see how it looks. That's good. Okay, so save and exit. And now let's test it. Let's preview it. So let's see. Boom. And that's good. And then obviously we only have this. So that's as far as we have come. So now what we want is to create an animation here, the loading animation of this little guy. So we're going to duplicate this. Just press Command V and duplicate it, and I put it over here. And then here, this element, now I'm actually going to rotate it. Here, I'm going to say 8 pixels. There you go. And then I'm going to duplicate it again. And I'm going to say from here, this one is going to be actually minus 8 pixels. There you go. So, right now, nothing happens. Still, nothing has happened. You do this, and then nothing happens. The thing is that from here, we have to add a little bit of a another gesture, a timer link to the next screen. So you can do that when you select an artboard. Just select timer link and then change this to 0, and then target the next one. So it's going to be this one. So this thing will automatically create a transition between this to this. And the transition, we're going to create a new transition. So let's do the same as we did before, align these two, and then let's connect those layers. So the two robots are connected, and now we see that animation between here. It moves from here to here. Okay, so, and let's name this transition. That way we can reuse it. So let's name it robot, or robot loading. There you go. That's more obvious. There you go. We save it. And now from here, it's going to be easier. So from here, we add another timer link, 0 milliseconds. And then the target is going to be screen loading 2, which is this one. And then the transition, we're going to reuse the one we just made. So let's put robot loading, done, and it should automatically make it for us. And now let's test it. Let's test what we have. About 1, 2. It's not perfect, but we'll make it better. So that's good. Now what we want is actually, let's add a little bit of bounciness to that transition. So I'm going to edit the transition, and then here I'm going to actually use a classic transition. So ease in, ease out. Let's do it like that. Let's see how it looks. Let's see it here. It's okay. Let's see how it looks with a spring. I don't like the spring. I like the classic. There you go. Okay, cool. So there's no delay, there's nothing, and we can change the this to probably 200 milliseconds. And since we are using these connected layers, that transition is going to be replicated between those two. So we don't actually have to do it again on the other transition. Let's keep it 300 actually. And now we need one last transition to create the loop from here to the first screen. So we add another timer link, 0 milliseconds, and then we target the not loading screen, and then we say robot loading. We reuse that transition, but now we edit the transition and we want to actually connect the layers of the content. So let's connect those two layers and let's see what happens. So we do that, and then boom, it goes back. And that's about it. We're pretty good now. I think, let's see what next it. Let's see what happens if I add a vertical scroll here to all of these. Stuff happen. I don't think anything happens. Let's see what happens. Nothing happens. This is just more for you to prototype the animation. So that's pretty much it. You can fine-tune your animations between the screens. Probably you want to even edit the you can even connect the eyes and create a cool effects where the eyes close, or probably the mouth goes from a laugh to a silly mouth. I don't know, whatever you want, you can create that. So that's it. I'm going to put a link to this file and to the Flinto file on the YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and share it with your friends. Cool.